Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off, because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this, because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Here we are again. Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, it's a new year. How's that possible? The days are going by faster and faster. I don't know what there is about it. My wife said, oh, it's another Saturday, and it seemed like we just got here. Oh, well. Hope you're doing well, and good morning to all of you that are watching us live here on channel 1301, and also we're streaming live around the world. Good afternoon to our viewers in the Netherlands and Germany and Kiev, Ukraine. Natalia, I see you. No, I don't. But you see us, and we hope you're doing well, and you know, as always, we're thinking of all of you over there. And good tomorrow to all of anybody that's watching us in Australia. We cover the world here. We don't prejudice anyone here. We cover all time zones. Throughout the show, you can call in because we're live right now. And if you do want to talk or have a comment, give us a call at 716-753-5225. And if you have an announcement or you have a follow-up question, which I'm always happy to forward if there is, because you might be shy, don't want to call in, chautauquasunrise@gmail.com, and we will get back to you one way or the other. Happy to announce any of your events, and we do that every week, as many of you know. So, we all are in the throes of football for a little bit. Buffalo Bills are right where they always are, making us crazy. Heartstoppers, heartbreakers, whatever. Tomorrow's big game. Tomorrow night, boy, Sunday night football. I don't even know. Justin, what's your prediction? Be nice.
I have no idea.
He has no idea. Well, I think they're going to be successful tomorrow night, but how far they go after that, who knows? But anyways, lots of fun, and as I always remind people, it's entertainment. They get millions of dollars to play football, and don't get too distraught. Miami by 6, according to Randell Burt. All right, Randy, I don't think he's ever predicted the Bills to do anything. I think he's a Bills hater. What do you think?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right. And tomorrow they're playing Miami. That's Chris's team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Chris. Anyways, so we're going to have football for the weekend, so that's always kind of fun to get together and yell and scream and whatever. They do this in Europe too, you know. They have their soccer teams, and it's pretty similar. I remember when we visited Europe, it was for the playoffs and things like that, soccer, whatever they do every 4 years. And I know there's a term, I can't think of it right now. But anyways, World Cup, thank you. World Cup playoffs, it's the same feel. It's crazy, and everybody's in a lather, and it's just great fun. All right, so what's going on today? Today we got a show, and I wrote some words down because I want to caution you right now. Today is going to be, we're going to be talking about the dark side of life here. And when I say dark side, I don't mean like shut off the lights dark side. I'm talking about stuff that happens every day under our noses, and most of us aren't even aware of it. It's going to be thought-provoking in the fact that we're going to be hearing some statistics about, not the world, not the United States, we're going to be talking about Chautauqua County. And today, the goal also would be is to provide some awareness and for you to know what to look for when we get to the topic. So how's that for a teaser, okay? So you all know that we talk about good stuff here, the happy stuff here. We have musicians here, writers, and sometimes we talk about tough things, and today's gonna be one of those. This is actually part 3, year 3 that we are gonna be covering this, and I'm gonna stop there because if I go any farther, I'll start the interview, and I don't wanna do that. All right, so stick around, and remember, always, if you can't finish watching the show, this is going to be on YouTube forever and ever. And it's going to be on our Facebook page, Chautauqua Sunrise, and we post it there, of course. One other thing is, if you haven't seen the weather report today, be careful. I don't think we're going to get that much snow, but the weatherman could be wrong. We actually do get snow this time. Along the lakeshore, it's always kind of dicey because we never know because it's so warm along the lake. But they're talking about some snow this evening into tomorrow. So please just be mindful of that. And it was pretty cold last night. We were out towards Sherman. It was like 13 degrees. I go, what's that all about? But anyways, so just be careful. All right, we have some announcements right now that I want to get to and some fun things to do. All right, let's see. What's today's date? Today's the 6th. All right, sleigh rides at Chautauqua Institution from 1 to 3. All right, January 7th, tomorrow, from 1 to 3. Over on Roberts Street in Chautauqua. Get ready for snow. Much fun this season with on-ground sleigh rides by the State Line Horsemen's Association every Saturday and Sunday, weather permitting, all the way through February 25th from 1 to 3. Tickets are available at the Chautauqua Bookstore. Okay. Comment. Chautauqua Institution is trying to extend their season, I know that, into the winter season to invite people onto the grounds. And I think this is one nice way of doing that. So if you're interested in a sleigh ride, what a pretty time. Especially, there's a little bit of snow on the ground up here. And I think it'll be fun. All right. Free fly fishing classes. So Jeff, this is up your bailiwick. January 9th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and January 16th, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The Costello Room in the Rockefeller Art Center at the State University of New York at Fredonia. All right, so the Costello Room in Rockefeller Art Center. All right, this is the Children in the Stream 4-H Youth Fly Fishing Program will be starting its 29th season classes with which will continue weekly through May 14th. The fly tying fly fishing classes will occur every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 in that particular room. The program is open to children over 12. If accompanied by an adult, I suspect you could, Jeff, just grab some young kid and go. Faculty, staff, and community members of all ages. It's for everybody. Classes and supplies are provided at no cost. No long-term commitment is needed. So if you're a fly fisher person, fisherman, fisherwoman, fisher kid, it's free. And I know my son, Justin, he's really into fly casting, and we have an agreement that we're going to work on that this summer. So over at the Fredonia State University College. Movies at the Ridge. Here we go. I already practiced some of these words. We'll see what happens. Maestro and Napoleon, the show at the Ridge Linnaeus Center for the Arts. Maestro, which will be shown January 10th at 7 p.m., is a towering and fearless love story chronicling the lifelong relationship between Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Montalegre Cohn-Bernstein, a love letter to life and art. Maestro, at its core, is an emotionally epic portrayal of family and love. The film is nominated for several Golden Globe Awards, including Best Motion Picture, Best Actor-Director Bradley Cooper, and Best Actress Carey Mulligan. Maestro is rated R, and it's 120 minutes long. That's interesting. Leonard Cohen, he's the one that wrote that song everybody knows and don't have any idea what it means, Hallelujah. Everybody's had their version of that. You hear it at the holidays a lot. Anyways, he wrote that song. Napoleon, January 13th at 8 p.m. This looks really good. I've seen some of the previews on this. It is a spectacle-filled action epic that details the checkered rise and fall of the iconic French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, played by Oscar winner Joaquin Phoenix, I think that's how you say it, Joaquin, against a stunning backdrop of large-scale filmmaking orchestrated by legendary director Ridley Scott. This is one of those big movies. The film captures Bonaparte's relentless journey to power through the prism of his addictive, volatile relationship with his one true love, Josephine, showcasing his visionary military and political tactics against some of the most dynamic, practical battle sequences ever filmed. Napoleon is rated R. It's 158 minutes long. Upcoming movies at the Reg. Michael Fassbender in, okay, here we go, Taika Waititi's sports comedy called Next Goal Wins, and Nicolas Cage in the dark fantasy comedy Dream Scenario. All right, so the first one's going to be on January 17th, and the second one January 24th. Hey, tickets are only $7. You can't beat that. And $6 for family films with an extra $1 for theater restoration fees. You interested in getting tickets? Go to the box office throughout the week, or give them a call at 484-7070. And you also can go online, go reglanay.com. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is interesting in that we in our family do have some foster parents. One of my kids is a foster parent with his spouse, and they've been working with the foster program for a number of years now, and we're very proud of them. The Chautauqua County Department of Mental Hygiene and Social Services Home Finding Team will host a foster parent open house this coming Thursday, January 18th. Okay, a couple weeks. For convenience, the department will offer an in-person session and a virtual session. The in-person session will take place from 5 to 6 at the Hall Clothier building right here, Mayville, in the basement conference room B14 located at 7 North State Street in Mayville. Attendees should enter through the basement door located at the back parking lot, easy to get to. The virtual session will take place at the same date and time, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you enjoy working with children and want to help families in our community, consider attending one of these events. Attendees will learn about various foster care and adoption programs and meet their home finding team. Events are free, of course, and open to the public. Pre-registration is required to attend the virtual event, of course. However, walk-ins are welcome to attend the in-person event. Foster care services in Chautauqua County provide out-of-home care for children in the custody of the Commissioner of Social Services. Foster care plays an important role in providing temporary, safe, and nurturing homes to children when their parents are unable to care for them for whatever reason. Lots of different reasons. And gee, you know, just knowing that we've got parents out there that are willing to help out is really cool. Children are placed in foster homes in situations where they've been removed from their own families because they've been abused or neglected, or because other family problems exist that endanger their safety. We used to call that imminent danger. The children may range from infancy through 18 years of age and may have special medical, physical, or emotional needs. The children may belong to any ethnicity or race and be part of a group of siblings who will benefit most from remaining together. If you're interested in registering for the virtual session or interested in receiving more information about the programs or becoming a foster parent, please contact Audra Muller by emailing, let's see, I'll have to spell this for you, Moellera. So let me spell that one more time. It's MOELLERA at chqgov, all one word, .com, or a whole lot easier, 716-661-8212. Again, 716-661-8212. And you certainly can go to their website at the Chautauqua County government and go to the Human Services line, and you can find out more about the foster program. So if you're interested, I highly recommend it, and it's a good thing. All right, let's go to the Prendergast Library, Jeff. They got a whole bunch of good things coming up. Libraries are not the library of our childhood, where they go, shh, quiet, and all that stuff. They got cool things going on. Okay, new genealogy workshop and memory lab every Friday from 2 to 4. Their weekly genealogy workshop now includes their new memory lab. Drop in Friday 2 to 4 to have staff members assist you in using their VHS to DVD converter, digitizing slides and negatives, or scanning photographs. As always, a staff member will be available to answer questions about genealogy databases and questions. More information, 484-7135, extension 226. Then they got a book sale coming up. Cookbooks, 50 cents, all month long. During this month-long special sale, all cookbooks in the library's book sale will be 50 cents each. New database, Mango Languages. This new database is available on their website for card-carrying members and offers instruction in over 70 world languages, including American Sign Language, Spanish, French, Latin, Arabic, Chinese, and Japanese. The free resource is available online via mobile app. Check it out here. I might have to do that. Did you take languages in school? Sort of. I actually pretty good. Some German. I took French, 5 years of Latin. I know some Spanish. So it helps when you're traveling the world. All right, Books and Brews at Brazil. Something new. Wednesday, January 10th at 5:30. Join them at Brazil over 10 East 4th Street in Jamestown for their monthly adult book club. January's book is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. NG, I don't know, Neeg? Let's see, 484-7135 for more information. Join them January 19th for a free movie in the library's fireplace room. No registration is required for this free program. Family movie, all ages. January 19th at 4:30, they're going to be showing Abominable. That was a cool movie. That was fun. Big old Yeti there. Teen, oh boy, here we go. Anamanga night. Join us January 26th at 4:30 for Teenage Anamanga night here at the library. We'll watch, oh boy, everybody's laughing at me right now. It has to do with Japanese snacks and stuff like that. I don't know. Ages 12 to 18, register for this. I don't know what this is. Somebody's going to have to look that one up while we're on break. ANIMANGA. So if somebody knows what this is about, call in and let me know. Come play in the makerspace. This is interesting. All ages are invited to learn through play. The library's makerspace is a space for all ages to have fun and play. This space includes a sensory play area for infants, toddlers, and preschoolers with toys like building blocks, light tables, and play food. Cool. For school-age children, we have hands-on activities such as magnet tiles, Lego, marble runs, and arts and crafts. For teens, they have robots, coding activities, and supplies for visual arts. Join them for staff-led programs in the Makerspace Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 5, and for open play on Monday from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. This Makerspace is also available for reservation. Now, where in the world did you think that your library would be doing all that for you? Those days are long gone, huh? It's a place that all kinds of cool things are going on. Same thing in the library in Ripley, but they do a lot of similar things. All right, last slide. Prevention works for free parenting discussion groups. Okay, lots of topics here, and I'm going to just let you know that it's located at the Mental Health Association area at 31 Water Street, and there's a variety of classes, and they range from dealing with disobedience, things at bedtime, having problems getting those little kids to go to sleep, and of course, fighting aggression and so forth. So for more information and you're a new parent or you need a little help, 716-664-3608, extension 110 at Prevention Works, and ask for Aubrey. 716-664-3608. And there you go, free parent discussion groups. All right, we're going to take a breather. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is for you.
Socialsecurity.gov is so friendly.
It makes the crankiest Klingon smile.
We're discussing what Anamanga is, and we're gonna maybe find out here in a minute. Okay, so I still don't know. I said in the beginning of the show that we were going to talk about some things here in Chautauqua County that might surprise you, and may upset you, and may answer some questions that you might have. So I want to welcome back to the show Emily Spielman, who got married.
I did.
It used to be Emily Van Way.
Yes.
Okay.
Emily Spielman. Thank you for having us.
All right. And then Saraden Randell, who just got married herself, I guess, not long ago. And this is your first time here.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Emily, you're with Children Advocacy Program.
Child Advocacy Program.
But I
yes.
say children.
Children.
You say child.
Children. Child.
I just pluraled it.
It's okay. We do serve multiple children.
Okay, I just got a request for you to move your mic up a little bit. Evidently.
right.
All right, here we go. Okay.
Good.
So, Child Advocacy Program, which I'm familiar with, and we've talked about over the years here in different ways. And then, Saraden, you're with the Safe Harbor, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But you said they're all kind of interconnected, right?
Yes.
And you're located down on 3rd Street?
Yeah, so we have an office in Jamestown on 3rd Street, right next to the ice arena, and we also have an office in Dunkirk, right on Main Street near the CVS.
Okay. All right, so you heard me do my introduction, and I try not to be over dramatic. What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about human trafficking today and what it looks like here in Chautauqua County.
Okay, so people are saying, what? We've talked about this a little bit, and maybe you didn't see the shows in the past couple of years, but human trafficking is taking place in our county.
Absolutely.
Let's define human trafficking like we talked about in the beginning when we were getting ready. Let's make sure we define these for people, because I think people are going like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Saraden, I don't want to take over your role because this is your primary.
Yeah,
Safe Harbor is our anti-human trafficking program, and so Saraden is the coordinator. We work together to provide a lot of prevention, education, and awareness and support for our youth in Chautauqua County who are experiencing human trafficking. So I'm going to pass this over to you because this is your realm of work that you do.
Certainly. So I am the Safe Harbor coordinator, and I work with our partners, our MDT partners, to provide education and training to all of our youth serving agencies in the community to educate people on the realities of trafficking within our community, let them know what it looks like, that it is happening here, and what the red flags and warning signs are. I assist agencies with developing and implementing policies regarding trafficking and how to identify that at-risk youth and how to respond and intervene in any CSEC cases. I also provide direct services to any youth who are at risk or who are currently being trafficked. I help them get basic needs that they may be lacking. I provide referrals. I connect them with appropriate resources and so much more, and just work with many different agencies in the community.
Okay, that's the elevator speech. Now let's dig into every one of those aspects, right?
So and so when we're talking about human trafficking, really what human trafficking is the exchange of a sexual act for something of value. And when we're talking about kids, when kids are under the age of 18, they're not able legally to provide consent for any sexual act. And so when we have an adult who is exchanging a sexual act for something of value with someone who's under the age of 18, it's automatically considered human trafficking because the child, unfortunately, they can't give consent to that.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to elaborate on?
Well, let me jump in real
Yeah.
quick. I mean, if anybody is alive and watching TV for the last couple of years, the Jeffrey Epstein whole storyline is just filthy with this whole human trafficking of young girls, I believe. I don't know, if it was boys in there or not, but at least young people with some high level people in government and in nations and so forth. And this has really become front and center on every time I pick up some kind of online newsletter or something like that. They're releasing names and they're bringing out more and more of this. And I just noted, I don't know what channel it's going to be on or whatever, but something about there's a woman that has a show now, and I don't know if it's a real show or if it's a reality show, but I think it's called Underground or something like that. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a woman that interviews people underground, whether it's human trafficking, drugs, murders or whatever it was, but she's doing exposés, and the whole thing is coming at me going like, wow, this is what we're going to be talking about. And so it's happening here in Chautauqua County.
Absolutely.
Is this a new phenomenon?
No.
No, it is not. It is not a new phenomenon. I think coming to light with stories like Jeffrey Epstein and that expose show and The Sounds of Freedom has really brought to light people's awareness to it and their interest in it, but it has been around for a very long time. And with the laws that New York State has passed has also really put into concrete, black and white, what trafficking is. With and we have a slide for that one. I'm not really sure what number that was, but if I can get on the screen, that'd be great with the different laws, because that kind of explains how it has cemented in the Safe Harbor program. But in the year 2000, the Department of Justice passed the Trafficking Act, which, what Emily was saying, a person under the age of 18 cannot consent to having sex or sex acts in exchange of anything of value. So having that law passed really explained what trafficking is, because before people would say things like teen prostitute, and you can't be a teen prostitute because you can't consent if you're under 18.
Right.
And then another law was passed was in 2008, New York State Senate passed a Safe Harbor for Exploited Children's Act, and that gave them protections in family court. So if a youth was arrested and charged with trafficking or prostitution, they had protections in court. And then in 2014, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a really long-winded one, Preventing Sex Trafficking and Strengthening Families Act, and that helped to identify, have a system of response from runaway from foster care, and requirements for certain agencies to identify, document, report, and provide services. So again, it's not new, it's just redefining what these terms are and having people educated on what they look like so we can get these youth referred to services.
Okay,
and
you mentioned
assistance.
a slide that you want to present. Is there a particular title on that for Jeff so he can pick out which one it was?
I think it's the second one. It has the 3 blocks.
3 blocks.
Okay, and if we could get that whenever, and when he pops it up, we'll speak to it. All right, so my understanding, okay, there we go.
There we
Thank
go,
you.
yes.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. All right, so go ahead and you can speak to it. However, I see different rules or different laws.
Yeah, so the first one's from the Department of Justice, and that was enacted in 2000
This is federal or state?
for the state.
Okay.
Federal. Don't ask me law stuff.
All right, it was called the Trafficking Victims
Yeah.
Protection Act, regardless of where it came from. Okay.
Yeah, so that was what Emily was saying, that a person under 18 cannot exchange anything of value for any sex act. Before, people would say things like teen prostitute, but you can't be a prostitute if you can't consent. And then the New York State Senate passed the Safe Harbor for Exploited Children's Act in 2008. That gave them protections in family court, that they weren't charged with a crime, that they were protected and they were offered services. That
Okay,
something is needed.
hold on. Who was in charge with the crime?
The youth
Yeah.
The youth could get
would get
charged?
charged with prostitution or
before these laws? Holy cow.
And I think it's really important too that we talk about the importance of these laws too, because when we're thinking about it, a lot of people would think like, oh, they just want a nice phone, or they just like want to do these things to
Or they're
get
making
money,
bad choices.
or they're making they're making bad
They're a bad
choices.
kid.
But the reality of it is that the reasons why people are in these situations is because there's vulnerabilities, right? There's different layers to human trafficking. Like there's different types. For example, survival sex. So if you literally don't have a roof over your head, if you don't have the means to have food, and someone knows this, and they're like, well, if you do this, you can stay in this hotel for the night, or you can crash at my place, or here's a hot meal for you. If you do this, then you're going to do that. With someone in need, if you literally don't have a place to stay or something to eat, many people would do whatever they have to do to have those basic needs.
Okay, let me jump in. So, I don't know, about a year ago, I actually wrote an article for my column that I do for Silver Magazine about this individual that I happened to run into and picked up that was homeless on the street. And I was totally shocked, totally shocked that this person was homeless and they had no home. And during our very, very short discussion, this person was sharing what you just said. That they had been living with somebody and they got abused. And this wasn't a young person. This was a person probably 40s.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, what? And so, and after that, I don't know if I just tapped into this, this thinking, cosmic consciousness in the county, but there were a number of articles about homelessness in Chautauqua County. Then I started thinking, holy mackerel, this was just one person I talked to. What else is going on, throughout? So I get this.
Yeah. And you got to think, it's cold here. You know, if you don't have a place to stay, who wants to stay outside? You said earlier in the show it was 13 degrees yesterday in Sherman. You know, like, who wants to stay outside in the cold like that?
Yeah. And so, what are the root causes for vulnerability? I think maybe we talk a little bit about that, if we could.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
When we're talking about kids, I think it's important to recognize that all kids are vulnerable. You know, when we're growing up, you're looking for that need to fit in. You're looking for that need to figure out who you are, to, have the cool things that all the other people have, and to, just be a kid, right? So we have that want for love, for friendship, for fitting in. And then we might have some kids who have additional vulnerabilities, such as, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, poverty, right? We have a lot of poverty. We have substance abuse, not even within the kids, but within the families and what that looks like. Anything else? I feel like I always have a bunch of these in my head, and then I can never think of them when I'm on the spot.
Well, some of this is generational.
Yes.
Right?
There's many different types of vulnerabilities. There can be like the need to fit in or having just fun gadgets like a new phone, but the other vulnerabilities like not having an attentive caregiver. With an increased substance use, their caregivers may be substance dependent and may not have a good home life or have any place to go. So back to the homeless component, or not having food, having just their basic needs being lacking. Consumer goods, the attachment to consumer goods. Many kids have access to technology without anyone monitoring them or making sure that they're safe.
My experience being in education for 30 plus years was a lot of these individuals, that's normal. Their normal is not our normal. So they don't see this as abnormal. If, you go home and there's lots of uncles visiting mom, if you are invited into whatever situation, that's just what we do. It's no big deal. We share this, we share that, or whatever. And then it just spins out.
Yeah, and that's another important part about the laws that were passed as well, because if you have, going off of the example you gave, if you have a mom, who's doing this to survive, and then a child is exposed to this from a young age, you're right, they are going to see the normalcy of it. If they then start engaging in that behavior because that's what they believe is normal, that's what they've seen, that's what they've grown up to know, then they might not view themselves as a victim, right? Because that's what they've grown up knowing.
And most of these victims don't identify, will never self-identify as a trafficking victim because they may not identify as something is bad or wrong because it has been normalized in their whole entire life. And there's a big lack of just awareness of what trafficking really looks like within our communities. We see the sensationalized movies and television shows and things in the news, and that's not identifiable to what happens in our community.
Right. And another big conception, right, is that we're gonna go in there, we're gonna save them, right? We're gonna take them out of the house, we're gonna save them, and they're gonna be fine,
and arrest these traffickers.
Yeah, and that's really not the reality of it, because this oftentimes has been going on for a long time prior to the intervention that's happening during these things. And so, they might be scared. What is going to happen if I leave my loved one from this situation? what would happen to me physically, mentally, just like the what ifs.
So you take them from what they think is a normal lifestyle, and now you're pulling them into a world that they don't even know.
And that's not leading them to success if
And
they're not.
do you ever get this, like, I'm good with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again, it's not about telling them what's right or wrong. It's us giving them care and support, helping them with whatever they need. It may be basic needs like shelter or food or clothing, jackets, gloves, but it's also helping them reach self-sufficiency and giving them just guidance on what is acceptable, what has been wrong in their lives, just to help lead them in a more comfortable place of life, that they don't have to rely on doing these actions to get things that they need in their life.
Okay, I hate to ask this question.
Go right
I'm going to ask it anyways. So here in Chautauqua County, what's the age group we're talking?
The average age is 12.88.
12 years old?
12 years old.
That's like 5th or 6th grade.
Yes.
Oh, and that's the average?
That's the average age. There are
So they can be younger.
There are older, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And to give you an idea, since we are kind of talking about the statistics and stuff.
Yeah, please do.
In Chautauqua County, the prevalence of it, so it was, Safe Harbor was formed in 2016.
Yes.
Since 2016, there, do you want to talk
I've
about
done
it?
upgraded statistics for this quarter.
Saraden updated her stats because they're due in January, so now
So,
the
yeah, they're new.
numbers have updated, so
All right.
they're a little bit higher.
Is this going to shock me?
Since 2016, in Chautauqua County, 295 youth are identified at risk
Wait a minute.
for human trafficking.
All these years or each year?
Since no, all of the years collectively.
All right, so I'm doing the math here real quick, so probably about 40 a year.
In our county,
Identified.
identified as at risk.
What do you mean identified?
So when we are working with different agencies, we actually have a an indicator tool that we use. So it's a list of vulnerabilities that could say trafficking might be happening in the household in somewhere, wherever it might be. Because you might not always see it, right? Because it can be hidden. It's a form of grooming when you have a perpetrator that they're going to groom the child and the people that they are offending. And it's very secretive oftentimes. And so when we're working with these partners, we want to be on the lookout for these things. And it's not like we're going to ask the kid, oh, do you have multiple phones in your home or stuff like that? We're not asking the kids.
Yeah, it's not a questionnaire.
It's not a questionnaire. We're keeping a lookout for these things. And if we see that we check off, it's just one. If they just have one or two, right? Of these things checked off on the indicator tool, that's an automatic referral to the Safe Harbor program to provide that support, the education, the awareness.
Who started this process?
So Jessica McKeever actually started it at the YWCA that was 2016, correct?
Yes.
Back in 2016. So she actually started implementing youth program. It's called Not a Number. It's by the organization Love 146, and was teaching anti-human trafficking prevention with the youth in the schools in Chautauqua County.
Okay.
After she started doing that, CAP got overloaded with referrals of children disclosing that they were being trafficked or abused in some form. So then it shifted from doing the prevention in the classrooms to doing that direct care. Correct?
Yeah, so then Safe Harbor moved to CAP in 2019 with Kaylee, who you've met, and she was here last year, and started working more direct services and educating the community and professionals so they can see those red flags, they can recognize those vulnerabilities, so they can do those referrals. And then in 2023, I joined, and you also joined.
All right, so today, 2024, who makes the referrals?
Anyone can make a referral, but we do have certain agencies that are required to do that referral.
Mandated
form.
reporter type thing.
Sort of like that.
So the thing about CAP is we work with a multidisciplinary team. So we work directly with law enforcement, CPS, we work with different community organizations like the Salvation Army and News Center, any community serving organizations. Excuse me.
I understand.
Yes, yes, you did.
Saturday morning.
And so we have monthly meetings where we'll go over and review like the cases that we're working on and stuff, and so we will provide these indicator tools to our partners. Saraden's done many presentations for them, how to go about doing them, completing them, the referral process, and all of those things. So it's really kind of on us to spread that awareness.
It is on us to spread the awareness, but also certain agencies are required to fill that form out, like CPS, PINS, probation, foster families are required to do that.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, rapid indicator tool. And if any of those are checked, like yes, that is something that I'm seeing in this youth, then there is a comprehensive assessment. Again, they're not questionnaires. We're not asking the youth any of these questions. It's anything that has been disclosed or that we've witnessed within this youth while discussing things with them or interviewing them or doing our investigation or their investigation. We don't do investigations. And they would get referred to Safe Harbor at CAP.
Okay.
We'll work
I think I sidetracked you on your statistics. So it's 295 since 2016. What else you got?
Oh yeah, of those 295, 51 of those youth have met federal definition for being trafficked.
Okay. So about, so, there's
there we go.
All right, 295, 51 federal. So is there a difference between the federal identification program in New York State? Or
No, it's the federal definition of what.
So New York State uses the federal definition.
Yes,
Gotcha. Because we were talking about different levels.
Yeah.
And then what's it say? Average age? It's 14 to 28.
I think it should be 18, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So
But with the
you're,
new statistics and everything from the quarter, it comes to 12.
and you said the average was 12.8, so
Yes.
a young teen.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you do something for me? Can you start like day one with a scenario?
They're all so different.
Pick one. Just pick one. Pick a situation where, I don't know, boy or girl, doesn't matter, and they're in school. So we're talking 5th or 6th grader. Let's go there.
Okay.
And how does one get groomed? We need to talk about that a little bit.
How does
Because I
someone get
want
groomed?
people to listen to what you look for or how this process works and why it works.
Yeah, so what the research shows us is that 90% of children who are abused by someone they know.
Key right there, right? Yeah.
90% of children who are abused by someone they know, which means that it's people who have access to children.
So it's not the boogeyman in the corner that everybody sees in TV shows.
No.
Right. I mean, you do have that 10%, so I'm not saying
But
it's
90%
never going to happen, but 90%
right, but
is
90%
significant.
is a high number.
Right. And so when we're talking about grooming, we're talking, it's a slow, gradual process that can happen over many, many years. And it's gaining the trust of that child. It's gaining the trust of the family members, the close friends, anyone who's connected with that child, to gain their trust, to eventually isolate them and kind of make that person their go-to, so that eventually they can slowly start to exploit them. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be from you're my dad's friend and boom, now you're exploiting me.
Right,
That's
so
not really what happens.
process. All right, so what do we call as groomer? Perpetrator? What's the term?
Perpetrator.
Perpetrator. And what's in their mind? Were they abused?
In the mind of a perpetrator.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the, I say root cause again. I mean, that's where it starts, so what's that all about?
We do see sometimes with the perpetrators that it is a cycle, right? They have been abused in the past and they're now abusing, but there's many different reasons, right? We talk about those vulnerabilities when we're kids and we're talking about people who are exploiting us, but also when we just have those vulnerabilities, how are we coping with them? Are we acknowledging them? Are we working through them? Are we,
Getting our needs met.
Yes, getting our needs met. And how is that going to affect our life, right?
Okay.
If we're coping effectively, if we have our needs met, we're able to make clear, more rational decisions.
Okay.
When we don't, that's when things can get dicey.
All right, so 5th grader, 6th grader, young girl, someone she knows is getting really cozy with this kid. Friendly, taking them out for ice cream or hanging out at the house or whatever. Then what happens?
So there
Again, make this up. Just I want this to become something that people say, oh, okay. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, trafficking can come in many different forms. So if it's a person that was close to them and they've gained access to this youth, and it could be family, sometimes it is family members who are doing this to them, but it could be a family friend. Just gaining trust and access to this kid, making them feel wanted and loved and getting attention, then they could capitalize on that and then offer them things like ice cream or clothes, especially the ones that are in poverty.
They're filling a need.
Filling a need, yeah. And then it's not as obvious as, hey, do the sex act with me, I'll give you $10.
Right.
It's not that in your face. It's more gradual and slow and like a hidden thing.
Okay, let's hold that thought. We have a phone call. Ready?
Okay.
All right, good morning, caller.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's you, Dak. Does human trafficking show an increase in the summer with all the tourists that are visiting the area?
Interesting question.
I would say no. No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I remember several years ago, there was a guy arrested. He was 70-some-odd years old. He was pimping a boy at one of the local big tourist destinations. And I just wonder if they brought him in and did stuff like that in the summer.
Well, it's probably possible.
It could be possible that those instances happen, but I wouldn't say there's an increased
correlation.
No correlation, because it's happening in our community with youth who are from this community who aren't going anywhere else. And people who come in here are just as likely as anyone who's been here. So the issue with these sensationalized news articles, the movies and the headlines, is that people think that these kids are being kidnapped and brought somewhere, or taken from here and brought somewhere else. And I did a really big wide motion at your face, I'm so sorry. So that does give people the thought that kids are being taken, and when people are coming in during the summertime, that can be an increased risk, but that's not necessarily true.
Well, this is sort of what we were talking before the show, is that the thruway is a channel, artery for drugs and trafficking and stuff. So I suppose, caller, that would fit the bill, that perhaps in this kind of weather they're going to high concentrated populated areas because of the summer traffic that comes through our county, and was trying to take advantage of it, I suppose.
Sure. And the slide that was just up showed the smuggling versus trafficking.
Oh, let's bring it back up, Jeff.
If you could, please.
Okay.
So what people often confuse trafficking is with human smuggling. And smuggling is different than trafficking. And I think the confusion's with the word trafficking. You think traffic in your car, moving somewhere, stuck in traffic. But smuggling is moving a person from one place to another.
Which sounds like what he's
across
talking
the border,
about, right?
Which does happen, but human trafficking is the exploitation of a person through force, fraud, or coercion, or if they're under 18, which is two different things. And a person can be smuggled and then trafficked, but what we see in our community is most often youth are being trafficked and they don't go anywhere. They're still living at home, they're still going to school, they still have their friends, but they are being trafficked. And that's where the educational component comes in, which is why people like Emily and myself go and we talk to people, we talk to the community, we educate, we do talk shows, so we can bring awareness of what it looks like, so people can spot these warning signs and not look for what you see in the media and in the headlines.
Okay, so we're talking about someone they know, they offer them gifts or special events and stuff like this. But what do you see in the kid, with their behavior? Does it change at all? Like at school, or if you see them at home, are they different?
They can be. If they start having items that they didn't have the means to obtain prior, especially for teachers, if you have a youth and you know that their family is struggling financially, and now this youth is starting to get fancy things, a new phone, shoes, like the Yeezys, expensive shoes, hair, nails done, they have nice jackets. where are these items coming from? If their family does not have the means to get these items, that can be a concern. It does not necessarily mean they are being trafficked, but it is a red flag thing to keep your eye on. Something's going on.
Or how about behaviorally?
Yeah.
Anger, lashing out, quiet,
it depends
isolation.
on the person, because if you have a kid that their typical behavior is a baseline, right? If you see like
something's different.
If you see them all of a sudden having completely different behavior, right, then that's something's going on, right?
And it can go in either direction, where now they're angry and lashing out, or maybe they are
shut
down and, despondent, or maybe they are skipping school, but they also could be attending school more often, because maybe school is a safe place and an outlet now. So it's a bit of a tricky thing. But if you see any change, noticeable change.
When I was in the system, I would see inappropriate behavior, like inappropriate touching of other students, or inappropriate language, or why are you talking about that?
Yeah.
That's not something an 8 or 9-year-old should be talking about.
Yes.
That's a big indicator.
And that could be an indicator of trafficking, or it can be an indicator of just being abused. Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between abuse and trafficking? You lost me on that one.
So trafficking is that exchange of the sex act for something of value, right? So you have something of value after the sex act or whatever, it's getting exchanged.
Okay.
Abuse is just
straight up.
Sorry. Yes, there's not necessarily any exchanging of things of value. It could just be, sexual abuse or physical abuse. The other thing about sexual abuse too is that it doesn't always necessarily have to be touching the person. Like if there's a child and an adult doing sexual things to themselves in front of a child, that is also considered abuse.
Like an expose type.
Yes, yes.
And child pornography. Okay, and now. The world of technology is just taking us way, way down the deep holes, and you hear about this all the time, where there's a lot of this, and there's certainly been enough cases in Chautauqua County in the last 10 years where people you would never have dreamt about that were involved with child pornography.
Absolutely.
So. Absolutely.
And that goes back to grooming, because it's not just the kid, it's not just the family, there could also be community grooming, right? If we have people who are in a leadership position and they're well known throughout the community, they could also groom an entire community to keep up this persona of who they are so that they can get away with things.
Wow.
Yeah. And you said child pornography. We in the industry don't use the term child pornography because it kind of it sounds like something consensual, something sexual, something sexually gratifying. What we instead use is CSAM, C-S-A-M. It stands for the commercial sexual exploitation of children. And that also covers a wider variety of what the CSAM, child pornography, is. That includes imagery, videos, photos that show a child engaged in or depicted as being engaged in something explicit in sexual nature.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask the big question that I have in my mind. Someone's been human trafficked, let's say, for a year or 2 or 3. What becomes of them? How does their life go from there? What happens?
Well, that's where we come in at the Child Advocacy Program.
Well, let's say that you don't.
Oh, well, if we don't, then they're going to need a lot of services. And these people who turn 18 and now they are
getting to drugs?
Yeah, they're no longer considered a child.
They
might turn to drugs. They're out there in the community struggling, maybe with mental health, maybe substance use, low income.
Does drugs go right along with human trafficking?
Absolutely, that could be part of the thing of value.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and that's something that perpetrators will take advantage of as well. If they know that someone's addicted to something, oh well, I'll give you this if you do that, right? So they look for the vulnerabilities in these people and they use those vulnerabilities to their advantage. And so when we work with these people, we want to provide that healthy support for their vulnerabilities to build them up in a way where they can fill their needs rather than someone else exploiting them to fill their needs.
Okay, people watching right now, grandmas, neighbors, grandpas, uncles, aunts, parents, whatever, teachers, counselors, they're suspicious now. They're thinking, ooh, I think I know somebody in this situation. Do they make anonymous reports? Do they have to use their names? People say, I don't want to get involved,
They don't have to use their name, but we would like it if they could. That way we can contact them back to get more information. Because if someone calls with an anonymous tip and they say, hey, I know a kid who is going through these things, I'm kind of concerned, now we don't have any way of finding this youth, getting any additional information. What's a good contact number? What's a safe place? We don't have any of that information, so we really can't do much. But it's always okay to leave an anonymous tip, but it's preferred to give some information.
All right, so for those that do want to leave some information or contact you, let's really get into that right now. So what's involved? So they see all these behaviors, they see these gifts or whatever, they're saying, holy cow, there's something going on. What do they do?
They would typically give us a call, and we could...
Remember, we're on radio, so let's give a phone number.
Yes, 716-338-9844.
338-9844.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. This is more of your role, Saraden. You want to take it over? Because they could meet with us and we can kind of chat with them a little bit about what's going on, kind of see where they're at, maybe what they need. Because like we said, every story is different. So we need to kind of, you know, get
more information.
But also not just come in being like, oh, what's going wrong? Like, we want to form a rapport with these people. We want to form that relationship.
So relationship building. So if a person in the community has a concern for a youth, they are more than welcome to call the CAP office and give us some information, and then we will touch base with them, talk to them, see what's going on, and if it's appropriate, we will contact a non-offending caregiver, so a caregiver who is not doing any negative behaviors, any harm to the youth, to get in contact with that kid and the caregiver and the family, set up an appointment, meet with them, see what's happening, what we can do to help support them, and that may just be giving them a referral for basic needs like food stamps or Medicaid or a place to live, or it could be a police report if need be. And I know some people are kind of weary on talking to the police, but we can offer them that support and be there if they need to make a police report.
And if it's something they want to do.
Yeah, or discussing with CPS if that's needed, or getting custody or a restraining order, just whatever they need. And it's always so different. Every case is different, so it's a case-by-case basis.
And that's the importance of our multidisciplinary team, because we have those partners, we work directly with them. So when you come to CAP, when you come to Safe Harbor,
again, CAP is Child
Advocacy Program, yes, we will bring those resources to you. So we coordinate all those resources so that it doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to like look all around Chautauqua County to figure out everything you need.
So
we're going to coordinate,
Okay.
And that's the purpose. So we reduce the amount of trauma that these children
Some of our viewers are in the North County, so how do they get a hold of the Dunkirk site? Is there a number there?
Yeah, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
So if they call,
if you call the Jamestown office, we can transfer you to the right place.
Gotcha.
We can still take that referral. We have a Monday morning meeting every Monday where we will assign it to the appropriate advocates based off of the location where you're located.
Okay.
So that phone number will work just great.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it seems hard to believe, but we got like a minute left. So, Saraden, 30 seconds. What do you want to tell people?
Oh boy, put me on the spot like that.
That's what I do.
I would love for community members to collaborate for the benefit of our youth. So how can you do that? You can educate yourself, you can learn more, you can engage with youth in healthy ways, building that resilience, being a safe adult for these kids. You can volunteer or give to agencies. We're always looking for donations. Respond to red flags or disclosures, provide protective factors for kids. Again, be a safe adult, monitor technology, digital privacy settings, model, teach, and demonstrate healthy relationships and friendships. Foster homes are needed. You mentioned that in the beginning of the show. And support extracurriculars, get trained, call our office. And I love going out and presenting and educating, so if you call us, I can set up a training and educate you, your community, whatever agency or organization or something that you volunteer to do. I would love to do that.
Emily, she left you like 10 seconds.
Sorry.
Phone
All right.
phone number or whatever?
Yes, Child Advocacy Program, 716-338-9844. Have conversations, connect with your loved ones. You don't know what you don't know, so keep talking, keep connecting, and just support one another.
All right, let's take care of our youth and help them grow into healthy, adults, and things happen. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much for coming in and talking with me today. Let's continue the dialogue because it's never ending, obviously. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. You've been listening to Emily Spielman from the Prevention Education Program at Child Advocacy Program, and Saraden Randell, who's from the Safe Harbor Program. Folks, keep your eyes open. Take care of our kiddos. It's happening under our noses. Be an advocate, and let's take care of our youth. We're going to do this all again next week. Stay tuned next week from 9 to 10 with Chautauqua Sunrise. Have a good weekend, and take care. Bye-bye.